Hello from outer space. That's right, I'm here talking to you today for Tech Time, and we're going to look at something pretty cool. But hang on, we'll be right back. So, like this effect? Want to learn more? I'm going to show you right now on Tech Time. And hey, I'm back here on Earth, hanging out at the beach. Or am I? So, today's Tech Time is all about using a special program called Zoom. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Zoom. There's been a lot of need for Zoom lately. A lot of people are using it for meetings and various other things. So today, we're going to show you how to use Zoom and how to do effects just like this. And no, I'm not really at the beach. To get started, you need to first go to the website zoom.us. Zoom has a paid feature and also the free version. Of course, most of us are going to be using the free version right now, which is fine. And you can see here in the corner, it does say sign up, it's free. So first thing it's going to want from you is just some basic information. So you'll need to enter your birth date. I'm just going to enter one. Next thing you need to do is put in your email address. It says work email address. Depends on what you're using it for. If this is for a work thing, then definitely put in that work email address. If this is for personal use, something you want to do at home, you can put in any email address you'd like. You can also create an account with any of these down here. Whatever is easier for you. If you use this, you will have to fill in the other information like your name, standard stuff. If you sign in with one of these, it will take the information from those websites and automatically fill it in for you. So choose whichever way you prefer to sign in. Once you have created your account, it will ask you to verify. So you'll have to go into your email, click the link, verify that you have signed up for Zoom, and once all of that is done, you will get a screen like this. Just so you know, there will be a few other questions like inviting colleagues. Just read the screen very carefully and you can skip most of that. Once you get to this screen, you're going to want to go here to where it says My Account. So here in your account screen, you do have a few things to pay attention to. Number one, you do get a personal meeting ID. That's your identifier for either when you create a meeting or when you join a meeting. It's how they know who you are and who's creating this or who is signing in. If I wanted to, I could pass this out to anyone I wanted to start a meeting with. They could type that in and join any meeting that I have started. All the other information is basic information. Again, you don't need to worry about any of that. You can add your own personal picture here, just to personalize your page a little bit. So now that you're here, the next step is to figure out how to join or how to start a meeting. Now we have these links right up here, and we'll be talking about those in just a few minutes. Let's first go down and talk about these buttons. So if you click on meetings, it will show you any meetings that you have scheduled. You can look at previous meetings. You can get training. If you want to schedule a meeting, That's where you would go to do that. To schedule a meeting, you will need to enter in what the meeting topic is. Not exactly super necessary. You can put pretty much anything you want there. It's just a way to help keep it organized so that you yourself know which meeting it is, in case you set up multiple meetings. You can also put a description for your meeting here. Down below, you schedule the time and day. So if we wanted to have a meeting today, we would leave the date here, pick our time. Your time is going to be in 30-minute increments depending on when you decide to have your meeting. So either 4 o'clock, 4:30, you get it. And then AM or PM. Duration of the meeting is up to you. But please keep in mind that if you're not using the paid version, your meetings are going to be 40 minutes if you have 3 or more people. It doesn't matter too much then what you put here, because at 40 minutes it's going to tell you your meeting's over anyway. But if you have the paid version, you can definitely decide how long you want it to be. If this is a recurring meeting, like something you're going to do weekly at the same time, you can check that, and then it will just save this meeting so that you can come back and just get it started without having to do the whole setup process again. Here we have the option of either generating an automatic meeting ID that people can then join, or by just using your personal ID number. Either way, you will need to make sure that whoever's attending has this information. So if you use your personal meeting number, make sure that they type that in when they're ready to join your meeting. Or if you're going to have it generate, you can send invites with the link to attend your meeting. If you want, you can require a meeting password. It's up to you. If you really want to make sure your meeting is secure and that only certain people are in there, you can do that. If it's just you and some friends or family that are just getting together to chat, maybe you might not need to require a password, make it more complicated. You also, as the host, since this is your meeting, get to decide how it's going to be handled. So you being the host, I would assume you'd want to have your video on. And participants, it's up to you. If you want you to be seen and heard and them not to be seen, you can leave it off. Or if you want their video equipment to operate and see them, choose on. You can also determine how the audio is going to be. The default for this is both, meaning if somebody signs in with their computer, they will be able to hear everything through the computer. If someone does not have internet or someone does not have a computer, they can always call in using a telephone. When you set up the meeting, a number is provided. It's a 1-800 number that the person calls. They enter the meeting ID number, and then they join the meeting by phone. And that's phone, not like face-to-face. If you're using your cell phone and using the app, you can still join in using the computer audio because you are using your device's audio and facial camera to send the information in so that you appear on the screen. These are some other just random meeting options that you have. When people arrive at your meeting, they can either just jump right on in and wait for you, or you can have a special waiting room where they sit and wait until you start the meeting. Totally up to you. You can also record your meeting. Once everything has been decided and all of your settings are ready, simply hit the save button and your meeting will be saved and ready to go for whatever time you have chosen. Once your meeting is saved, the next time you come to the meeting screen, instead of just seeing the schedule of meeting, you will also see what meetings you have scheduled and the option to start this meeting. And then once you click the blue Start This Meeting button, your meeting begins. Now there's also a webinar button here. Unfortunately, if you don't have the paid or business version of this, you won't really be able to use the webinar feature. If you record a meeting, you can have those saved into the cloud. But what we really want to look at is our settings. So you, being the host or meeting creator, have a whole plethora of options here just for you to play with. You can decide so many things. And there are so many things here that we're not even going to be able to go over each and every one. But you, being the smart person that you are, can read through, decide what sounds good for your meeting, and then enable it by clicking the button. When it's blue, that means that is on. When it is gray, that feature is off. And there is so much that you can do to personalize your meeting. You can require passwords. Like I said, I choose not to. You can automatically mute everybody when they enter the meeting and then unmute them as you see fit. Isn't it great to be in charge? There is a chat feature in the meeting area that you can disable if you would like. There's also a file transfer option, screen sharing option, the whiteboard, and like I said, there is just so much here. We're going to look a lot more at the meeting screen itself, where a lot of these options are also available, but I just want you to be aware that you can come through and set this up, and this will be your new default. Whatever you set up here will be the way your meetings are always scheduled until you go in and change it. Okay, you can also decide how recordings are handled, where they go, and how the phone in is handled when somebody calls in. So I'm going to go back to my profile for the moment. Now, I said we were going to come back to these buttons, and so we shall. So these are typically available on any screen in Zoom once you are signed in. Of course, schedule a meeting is everything we just looked at. So when you click that, it gives you the option to set your meeting and all those other settings that we just went over. If you're going to join a meeting, somebody has invited you and set up a meeting, you can click here. And this is where it asks you for either the meeting ID number or the personal link name. So if they are using their personal ID number to have the meeting run, then you would just enter that number. Or if they sent you a special link, you would enter that ID number. Whatever it is that you have been sent to join this meeting, you put here, click join, and then it will take you into the meeting screen. Now, if you're going to host a meeting, you can do an instant host. I would highly recommend you stick to the schedule a meeting if you're going to be the host. This quick option, it's handy, but sometimes it has a few little bugs. Now, when this screen pops up, you are going to have to download some things. The first time you do this, it does bring up a download screen to download the attachments to make this software work in your browser. It's very quick, easy download. You accept, download it to the computer, run it, it installs, and then you're brought to this screen. In the future, after you've done it one time, you will just be brought to this screen. So it's a one-time pain, but after that, you're good to go, as long as you don't switch computers or devices. So we click the open link button. And here we are. Now, unfortunately, since I'm using a different software to run this, it's not going to bring up my picture because the video is being used by the other program. But normally what would happen is you would see yourself in the screen and you would just simply wait for other people to join your meeting. I'm going to show you a few of the options that you have here for running a meeting. We do have a reaction button here, which allows you to react to whatever you're seeing on the screen. So if you're having a business meeting and somebody says something that you approve of, you can give them a clap or a thumbs up. Or if you're having a family meeting and you just want to be silly, you can give them the thumbs up or just random claps. You can record your meeting, which then enables the computer to start recording you. You'll have a record option after that, which allows you to pause, stop the recording at any time. Screen share we will talk about in just a moment. Chat is a fun thing. Anyone who joins the meeting with you will be able to chat with you here. So just by typing in your message, it'll show up here, and anyone who is in this group will see it and can respond. You can also attach files and send to everybody. Now the Manage Participants button only appears if you are the person in control. Everyone else might just be able to see who's in the meeting, like a guest list. But you, as the host, have full control over what's going on. So anyone who is joined in the meeting will appear here. It will show if their mic is working, videos working. You can mute everybody or unmute everybody if you already have them muted. Invite more people. You also have these options when you highlight somebody. For me, it's rename because I'm myself. But for other people that are involved in this chat and video messaging, this is where you can remove them. You can send them to other places like the waiting room if you need them to not be in the group chat at the moment. Of course, you can mute them, disable their video, and many other things. Under security, you have a lot of the same features. So I can lock this meeting to make sure that nobody else can come in. The waiting room, again, is where people can sit before they get to this screen. Or I can send somebody there if I need them to not be in the meeting at this moment. Share screen is what we're going to do next. Of course, there's a chat and then rename themselves. Share screen. This is a wonderful, nice feature. When you are giving a meeting or whatever it happens to be, whether you're in charge or not, unless you disable it for the other participants, people can share their screens. Now, there's a whiteboard option, which brings up an actual whiteboard, and you can freehand draw on this all you want. You can also type text on here. Add stamps. Highlight, spotlight something. This is important. So a lot of fun things that you can do with this little whiteboard. You also have the option with the screen share to share your actual screen, show what you're currently doing, and you can share other things as well. So whatever you see here, you are allowed to share with the group. You also have some audio options. I would not mess around with this too much. If you're having audio problems, this might be the place to go and see if you can fix it. but usually when you have audio problems, it's because you click something here and caused your audio problems. So stay away. Video. Now this is the fun part. You can choose your virtual background. As you can see, here's my space station that you saw me in front of earlier. Here's the beach that you saw me in just before we started this. And of course you can go to none. What I did is I went online, found a background that I like. There's a children's library. Downloaded it to my computer. And then, by using the plus sign, I can add the image. Anything I like. Let's see. Let's do, I saw a tree in here. So if I wanted this to be my background, I would just open it. It's now part of my choosable backgrounds. I click on the one that I want. Now, it's not going to enable right now because again my video is being used by another program, but normally what would happen is you would see the background here and your image in front of it. Now you'll see where it says I have a green screen. This is going to be required, not necessarily green screen, but you do need to have a solid colored background without any other things in the way in order to enable these images properly. Otherwise, it'll look kind of weird. If any of your clothing matches the background, you're gonna see weird spots where you're missing something. Unless you want to be a floating head, then have at it. But make sure that your background does not match anything that you are currently wearing, and you should have a good time being able to engage any background that you like. Put yourself anywhere you want in the world. So, those are the basics for using Zoom. Of course, when you're done, you would just end the meeting. You can decide if you're going to end it for everybody and make people leave, or if you just want to leave and let them continue. Since there's no one in the meeting, we're just going to leave. And we're brought back to where we began. So, I hope you have some fun. Feel free to play around. The only way to really learn something is just have at it. And, next time you're having that business meeting, you want to throw some people off and say, hey, look, I'm actually on the beach, or I am in Paris, or wherever you want to be. Find yourself a nice background, download it, add the virtual background, and see what kind of fun you can have. So, till next time, we'll see you on the internet with our other programming, tech shorts, story time, and much, much more.